Hi YouTube. There is a scene in the movie Saving Private Ryan. Alright, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie and you want to watch it, don't go any further. There, you've been warned. But there's a scene in that movie that really gets to me. It gets a little dusty in here when it's on. And, it's just something that really packs a punch to me personally. I mean, hey, maybe it's corny. All I know is it gets to me. Okay? And, towards the end, when Tom Hanks' character is about to die, his last words to Matt Damon were, "Earn this. Earn this." Of course, Tom Hanks led a group of soldiers to try to rescue Matt Damon, and just about all of them ended up dying. And then it cuts to Matt Damon as an older man, and he is in the cemetery. And he finds Tom Hanks' character's gravestone, and that's when the words come back to him that Tom Hanks had told him. And then Matt Damon wells up, he tears up, and he looks at his wife, and he says, "Tell me I led a good life. Tell me I'm a good man." And, here's a man that survived World War II and saw just unspeakable horrors, and he's tearing up at, worried that he didn't live up to Tom Hanks' final request. I just think it's a great moment in the movie, and it asks the question, and I'm going to ask it now. What do you owe to all of those that came before you that helped build this country? The visionaries that crafted one of the most important documents in human history, the U.S. Constitution. Your ancestors who fled tyranny, crossing an ocean as dangerous as it gets, this journey, to escape tyranny for a better life for their bloodlines, basically. What do you owe to the people that fought in World War I and World War II to ensure your freedom? I mean, I'm asking. Do you have any obligation to live a good life after what these people went through? Do you think people just before they were about to die in Normandy thought, "Oh, thank God, now my great-grandson's going to be able to smoke pot all day and play Xbox"? I mean, you have every right to, but should you? Do you think as your great-great-grandfather was dying in the trenches in World War I, do you think he was thinking, "Oh, thank God, my great-great-grandson can be just unemployed and just hang out and do nothing with his life"? What do you owe to these people that built this? If you're listening to my voice, that means that you have access to probably one of the most important inventions in human history, the internet. A teaching tool. You can learn anything that you want on this. You go through the jobs in the Help Wanted pages. If it says you need skills in Excel, how long do you think it'll take you to learn Excel with YouTube and the internet? Not very long. What do you owe these people that died for you, for your freedom? For my African American friends, what do you owe to Rosa Parks? A 42-year-old woman who stood up and said, "I am not a second-class citizen." A woman who stood up to tyranny. What do you owe to Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X? Two men that gave their lives so that your lives would be better. What do you owe them? What kind of life do you think, or what kind of future in life do you think they were hoping for African Americans when they fought so hard? First of all, it still boggles my mind. This is, as an aside, it always blows my mind that in my father's lifetime, we had segregation. I just can't wrap my mind around that. And look, I'm not naive. I know there's a lot of work still to do. And I would certainly like to see some strong leadership in the black community. I really wish that people would step up instead of playing the victim. Okay, but I guess that's another topic for another time. But what do you owe Martin Luther King? You know, it's not that hard to make a difference. Sometimes it's literally just being nice to people, to those around you. Asking them how they're doing. Just taking a moment to have a little conversation. You know, it's funny, well, it's not funny, but a guy I used to work with, he lost his daughter at a tragic young age. I think she was 9 or 10. I mean, it breaks your heart just thinking about it. And what he told me really surprised me. He said, you know, I lost a lot of relationships. You know, people that were friends or even casual friends because they simply didn't know what to say to me. It was so uncomfortable for them to broach the subject that they just avoided. And that, of course, makes things even more uncomfortable. Can you imagine? A friend of yours loses a child. All you have to do is say, how are you? Is there anything I can do? It doesn't take a lot to just do a little bit better. No matter what it is, to treat people with respect. Treat strangers with respect. Acquaintances. It's really easy to be nice to your friends. It's funny, when I was in Florida, it's madness down there sometimes driving. And I typically let people in, you know, when it comes time for that. And one couple stopped ahead of us at the toll booth, and we went up to pay our tolls, and the attendant told us, no, go ahead. He said because you let him in, he paid your tolls for you. It's amazing how just acts of kindness get repaid, and how it just catches people off guard sometimes. It's not that hard to make a difference. Especially, you know, when you make it a point to. Is it really that much to bring down some soup down to the food shelf? So that a family somewhere, has just one nice meal? You know, does it take a lot to volunteer your time to help coach this team? You don't have to actually be the head coach. You can just volunteer your time and help. You know, your kids will love that you're involved. Does it take a lot to volunteer at the school? Maybe go on a field trip. There's a lot of things that you can do. You know, it's just, I've talked about it before, but I feel strongly that I am on a path of continuous self-improvement. You know, this is something that's important to me. You know, I want to be a better dad to my kids. I want to be a better husband to my wife. I want to be a better son to my parents. I want to be a better friend. And I'm finding that it's not really that hard to do. I want to earn what all the people that came before me built for me. I mean, sure, you know, I could have won the DNA lottery and been an athlete. That would have made things a lot easier. You know, maybe I could have been born into the Hilton family and just wasted my life spending my grandfather's money. But then again, I also could have been born into the Congo or Liberia or the Gaza Strip. You know, so life is all what you make it. And I'm finding that I'm making fewer and fewer excuses, and I'm taking action on this stuff. And it's all like a big puzzle. You start finding pieces and you just start clicking them in, and before you know it, the big picture starts to become a lot clearer. Earn this.